Okay, some of you may have noticed that the gold card video from yesterday has been taken down. This was not YouTube, this was me. Somebody in the comments said, "Hey dummy." They didn't actually say, "Hey dummy." I'm saying, "Hey dummy." Hey dummy, when you're showing the letter you were sent, you're kind of flashing your address. And I was like, shit! So I deleted the video. Sorry. I am moving, so it almost kind of doesn't really matter, but at the same time, I'm like, oh my god, I was so excited to get the card, and I was so excited to share it with all of you, I didn't think to black out my fucking address. So, yeah, if you guys really want me to, like, remake that video, or take that video and edit it and repost it, I'll do it, if you guys demand it. But as of right now, those of you who got to see it, you got to see it. And if you didn't get to see it, I got a gold card. I'll show it to you. Hold on one second. Blah! Yeah, there you go. That's right. The official Trump 2020 gold card. I got one. I talked about this before. I said that I had kind of, I donated to the campaign, and they had promised they were going to send this to me. I had thought that I wasn't going to get it. Here it is. It came with a letter. It was very nice. And has my address on it. You guys cannot be privy to that information. So yeah, I'm a moron in that respect. I was super excited. I was a 12-year-old kid again, and I had just gotten my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan club thing. What are you gonna do? But yeah, that's why it's down. If any of you are wanting to freak out about YouTube, they removed it. I can't believe they removed it. They didn't. It was me. It was all me. So, there you go.
Who run Bartertown?
You know who.
You know him. You love him. He's...
So the president is signing, well, has signed, an executive order enforcing the law. And everybody's losing their shit because he's signing an executive order rewriting the law. It's fucking weird. But what are you going to do? It's the day and age we live in. Nobody fucking knows what the hell they're talking about, yet everybody knows exactly what's going on. Essentially, it's like this. Platforms like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, they are platforms, right? You're allowed to go on there and broadcast yourself, right? Now, there are things that are not protected by the First Amendment. You can't threaten people. That shit's wrong. You can't, scream fire in a crowded theater, the whole thing. You can't endanger people. You can't post child pornography. You can't post, other illegal things. You can't really post, video of you stealing shit. Like, that kind of stuff is going to get taken down and turned over to the authorities. You are not protected when you do that kind of shit. You can, however, fuck with people, right? If Twitter, Facebook, YouTube decide to edit or limit or outright censor things where you're fucking with people, they become publishers. Now, what is the difference between a publisher and a platform? Well, legal liability, for one. If, let's say, somebody posts child pornography, right? The parent involved sees it on Facebook. Just pick one at random. They do not have the legal ground to stand on to sue Facebook for publishing it because they are not publishers. Now, it is kind of required by law that Facebook take that kind of shit down. they're not allowed to platform illegal things, right? But they can't be sued if somebody else posts something illegal. You know what I mean? If Facebook, if somebody posts a threat to somebody else, Facebook can't be sued over that. The person involved can be, because it's their information that they're disseminating, right? Now, publishers, like newspapers, they control what it is that they are publishing, right? So if they publish some sort of libelous statement, they can be sued as an entity for publishing a libeled statement, right? I can publish libel on YouTube all I want, and YouTube can't be sued. Get it? Because YouTube is supposed to be a platform. But if they decide to edit my libelous statements or whatever else, they then become publishers. Right? You get it? Essentially, I become like a reporter for the Post, and they've decided to edit my reporting so that whatever, it's not the same as what it was. Now, Jack Dorsey, in his dumb fuckery, decided to become a publisher when he decided to tag on opposing viewpoints to one of the president's tweets. He's not allowed to do that. That's called editing, right? The president posted a tweet saying that mail-in balloting is going to lead to all manner of fucking fraud, which it does. Like, this shit, it just amazes me that there can be like dozens of fucking cases of voter fraud going on in places where they do mail-in ballots, and yet somehow when the president says it, it's all fucking horseshit and lies. It's actual factual reality that you can look up yourself. It's going on right now. It happens. So when the president says, I don't like the idea of mail-in ballots because it's fucking, it invites fraud, or whatever the fuck he said, however the fuck he phrased it, whatever the fuck, they tacked on, this is the opposing view to what is said above. That's editorializing, right? That is Jack Dorsey, because he's claiming full responsibility for this, you know, so fuck it, it's all on Jack, dumb motherfucker. He has become now a publisher. He's become an editor of his site. This means that he is no longer protected under the liability protections of a platform. And Donald Trump can, by rights, sue him for editing his post that he posted freely on a platform wherein you're supposed to freely be able to post things. Right? I hope I've explained kind of the difference between publisher and platform as best as I can. So now what the president is essentially signing with his executive order is he wants to have the FEC, FCC, whoever it is that controls that sort of thing, he wants them to make a more focused idea of what the protections actually protect you from. What can you remove or editorialize that keeps you as a platform as opposed to what you can't, which would make you a publisher, right? Right now the rules, as they are in everything with social media, they're very fucking broad. And you know, when you see offensive, filthy, lascivious, that sort of thing, well, I mean, what's filthy to me may not entirely be filthy to anybody else. Like, I think child pornography is pretty fucking filthy, and I think that, you know, there's a lot of the threatening, violent fucking shit that I think is filthy. But I don't think somebody telling somebody to go fuck themselves, I don't find that filthy. I don't find profanity to be filthy. You know what I mean? But I do find things like blasphemy filthy. You know what I mean? When people are just outright just being nasty about God and that sort of thing, I find that to be filthy, personally myself. Do I think that kind of shit should hold up and, that sort of thing? No, I'm not going to go that far with it, but just I personally find it filthy. So if I was asked, do you find blasphemy to be filthy? I would say, yeah, sure, I think it's kind of filthy. But I don't think it should be held to, the law standards in that such way. If somebody wants to fucking promote their anti-religious whatever, as long as they're not being threatening about it, as long as they're not saying we're going to blow up churches because we disagree so much, whatever. If they just want to say, God's gay, you know what I mean? Like I don't really know. I don't know. But so the definitions are awfully broad, and they're based on everybody's kind of personal fucking idea of what these words mean. What to you is lewd might not particularly be lewd to me. So he is essentially demanding, with this executive order, that the standards be qualified better. What are the actual definitions of these words? What is it? What does it mean when we say we're removing this because of this? Because it's harmful. YouTube kind of tends to think that ideas are harmful. They're not. YouTube kind of thinks that certain insults are harmful. They're not. So when YouTube decides to editorialize people's content based on it's harmful, well, what exactly does that mean? Does it mean harmful in all definitions of the word? Or does it mean harmful as in inciting actual fucking harm? Right? This is essentially what the executive order is about. We want to clarify exactly what this means. We want to tamp down the broadness of all these fucking terms and give them actual definition. That's it. That's all. He isn't shutting down Twitter. He isn't removing their immunities. He isn't doing any of that kind of stuff. He has said he wants to look into it, but he has also said that that would require legislation because it would be an altering of the laws, which requires legislation. He's doing his job, right? When you begin to delete people's posts and shut down their accounts because they're writing learned code, teasing journalists who are assholes, when you do that kind of shit, you are being a publisher. And you should therefore then be liable to be sued because you have censored me. Censorship is illegal. It is not within your right to remove my whatever, my whole account, my one thing, whatever it is, just because I said learned code or a man is a man, as a woman is a woman. You're not allowed to do that kind of shit. You become a publisher at that point. And I, as a person who was brought into, say, YouTube with the understanding that I could post my own fucking thoughts on it, when they decide to say, yeah, that shit's bad, we're going to give you strikes for it because we disagree, I can then sue them for this shit. Now, I gotta say, all the people that I talked about yesterday, they should love this shit. Because this is actually going to give them legal grounds. But for some reason, I think that because Donald Trump is doing it, they're not going to fully understand what the fuck's going on because they're ignorant as fuck and love being that. So they're going to go, oh, no, this is terrible, horrible. Even though they're literally going to be saying, no, we want to continue to not have a ground to stand on legally in our fucking case. Thus brings us around to the stupidity of the people of this fucking country. There's so many people right now that are like, yeah, fuck, man. Mark Zuckerberg, huge idiot. He's doing this shit. He actively has done this shit in the past, is currently doing this shit now. He acts as a publisher when it's convenient for him. Yet he came out in an interview and said, yeah, oh, Jack Dorsey shouldn't have done this because he's becoming a publisher. Fuckface, you do the same thing. You are so goddamn moronic, I cannot believe that you were smart enough to steal other people's ideas. Just throwing that out there. Nevertheless, this is kind of a sticky wicket. Is this going to actually change anything? Probably not, because everybody, you know, Jack and fucking Mark Zuckerberg and fucking Susan, they're all going to fucking sue. And they're going to sue in whatever court they can find that will be on their side. And of course, that court is going to be on their side. So, at the end of the day, it ain't going to fucking make no difference. They're going to have to actually get legislation into this, but of course that's done by Congress, which is just against Donald Trump. Period, end of sentence. So, fucking ain't going to go anywhere. This shit is going to continue to happen. This is just going to be people bitching because they have a problem, but everybody else is going to go, I don't like you, so fuck your problem. Who gives a shit if I also suffer from the same fucking problem? I'm too stupid to realize that I am against myself in this when I'm against the president. We're sad. We're just a sad people. This is like, we're just a sad fucking people at this point. But what are you gonna never do? What are you gonna do? You never know. Something could actually come from this. I think it would be amazing if Twitter and Facebook and YouTube had to go, look, I guess we can't fuck with you about shit we just don't like in general anymore. And then things will kind of go back to a status quo. But at the same time, like in the case of YouTube, you know, they do advertising. And the advertising gets put on, say, for instance, my videos, right? If the advertiser doesn't want to deal with the hassle that could possibly come from having their advertising in front of my video, you know, they can decide, yeah, we don't want to support. They have the choice of who they support, you know what I mean? That if I don't want to put my ads for children on Spike TV's 50 sexiest fucking women thing, they don't do that. Like, they don't buy that ad time. It gets reserved for more adult content ads, right? Just like you wouldn't put an advertisement for, say, this cream will make your cock bigger. You don't put that shit on Saturday morning cartoons, right? The publisher, i.e. the channel, can say, look, we're not going to sell you Saturday morning cartoon advertisements for condoms because it's inappropriate. And we're not going to do that. We're not sexualizing children here, right? They can decide what advertisements go where. Now, because of that, the whole demonetization thing, that ain't going nowhere. Because companies these days have been so browbeaten and become such fucking pussies that they just can't deal with the possibility of somebody being upset with them. Because then they might boycott, and boycotts do nothing. But hey, it's bad press, and we certainly don't need that. So we're just not going to put any ads on anything except for kids being kids and just whatever the fuck else sanitized horseshit we can find. What I think, and I've said this before, what I believe YouTube should do is say, look, if you want to buy advertising time on this platform, it's going to be put in circulation. What in circulation means is it could be on any video at any time, anywhere, whatever. right? But you're not liable. You're not attached. We'll have a disclaimer. This company does not support or even know what the fuck its commercial is attached to. I don't think that's too far. Assholes in corporations. You can put that disclaimer on your YouTube commercials. We don't even know what this commercial is going to be attached to, so we're not involved. We hold no liability. If you don't like the commercial, fine. It's our commercial. We own that. If you don't like the video that the commercial is attached to, we don't even know what video the commercial is attached to. One of the billions of videos. We have no fucking clue. As far as I'm concerned, that shit should be understood. They don't have a clue. But people don't have understanding anymore. All they do is go, you have your commercial, your Pepsi commercials on something I think is racist. You're racist supporters. And what Pepsi should do is go, we have no clue what fucking videos our commercials are on. We just buy ad time and then they throw the fucking commercials on videos. That would solve the whole demonetization thing. However, there would become a lot of companies that would go, well, we're not going to buy ad time on YouTube because, right? And then YouTube would lose all of its major ad companies because, again, they're fucking pussies. And they cannot possibly have bad press because God knows bad press does nothing. Nike's still selling shoes. Gillette's still selling razors. Both companies have had massive amounts of problems going all fucking directions for years now. And they're still in business because this kind of shit does nothing. But they aren't smart enough to realize that, even though they're the ones looking at the bottom dollar. So they pander to the smallest fucking minorities who are offended by fucking everything, so that they don't get in their perceived trouble. The whole situation's retarded, and it all comes from leftist nonsense. Literally, it all comes from leftist nonsense. The whole fucking social justice, the whole goddamn thing. It's ruined the fucking world. And now that we've been in it for a while, and we've done the experiment, we've done it long enough to find out it's fucking everything up. Nobody's happy anymore. When you try to make everybody happy, ultimately, nobody's happy.